Let's make a flower crown for my twin sister's baby shower. We're at Dollar Tree shopping the artificial flower section. Highly recommend going now. There's a great selection, springtime. These are the flowers that I chose, a variety of pinks, creams, and that is the base that I shopped at Party City. Some headbands that I got for the rest of the crowns that I made for my sisters and I. So here it is. And I take the flowers off the stems. So you can see it has that little like nub on the end of it. So here I'm sewing the bow that I made on my machine. Super cute. And this bow, I've actually stitched it together. And then there it is, the finished bow. And I took this existing crown that we shopped at Party City and deconstructed it and put it back together. So here I am starting to put the crown together. There's the bow, and I'm hot gluing actually the mom-to-be on the back. And that was on the existing crown that we had purchased. And just hot glued it. This was less than a 24-hour turnaround, so I didn't have time to use E6000. This crown that we purchased, the existing flowers that were on there, I just was not a fan of. And so I used the base because, again, everything was like 75 to 85% off. So I took off the crown, all of the flowers that were on the crown, and then started putting on the flowers that I shopped at the dollar store. And this crown already had little felt pieces, which was great to just like hot glue gun on. And I always cut off this little nub, you can see, off the back before you glue it on. And that just keeps things pretty even and flat on the crown. And then whenever I make flower crowns, I always like to give a little bit more depth and dimension in the way that it's put together. And you can do that with color, you can do that with texture, a variety of flowers, that kind of thing. My sister sort of let me do whatever I wanted. So on this, for me, I always think of things of like what's going to look best on camera because we're in such a camera focused world. I knew that there'd be a lot of photos taken at the baby shower. So for me, I'm a costume and fashion designer and wardrobe stylist. So I used a variety of colors. And so here I am cutting off the back and then just gluing that directly onto the crown. And I actually would glue directly on the felt first and then place it on. So that was perfect. If you're going to make a base, I would suggest purchasing felt, and you can just make little circle tabs and put those on. It's just like a really easy way to just attach flowers. And it just will look a lot more polished. I don't super love hot glue. I really try and not use it as much as possible. But when you have like tight turnarounds, it sort of is what it is. I love E6000, but again, you have to be super careful with using that and making sure there's ventilation. And obviously it takes longer to dry. But felt is really gonna be your friend here when you're making a crown. But yeah, so that's me trying it on. And so again, like I was saying, so this crown, I wanted to use a variety of colors, but I also wanted to use a variety of flowers because of the depth and dimension that I wanted to create. So I actually took these really beautiful flowers and placed them in between the larger flowers just to give a little bit of dimension and variety in between the overall look of the crown. And so now I'm just basically placing them in between, and I'm actually hot gluing directly on the side of the flowers and pressing them down. I would really recommend doing that. It also too hides the glue. Whenever you're doing anything with hot glue, you're always gonna get like those little stringies, and things are gonna look more professional if you're hiding the glue. That's just the way it is. So if you can just really hide the glue on the back side to put those in between, that's the way I would recommend doing that. If you're not going to have a base that you shopped and you're making a base, try and space out those felt tabs as much as possible because those are really going to be your friend. And I'm going to actually do a tutorial on how to create a flower crown base because that's just super helpful to have if you're not able to shop one. For me, I was able to shop one. This was such a quick turnaround. I wouldn't have had time to make one, but just for a tutorial for everyone, yeah, felt is great. And the artificial flowers from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree also has felt. So if you're going, definitely buy some because you're going to need it. And then here I am placing more flowers on. And I actually like trimmed and sort of sculpted the flowers. You don't have to do that, but I'm such a perfectionist when I work. So for me, it was just to add a little bit more dimension. Some things were maybe a little bit longer, so I would like tuck it and sculpt it and move the petals around. They, obviously weren't all individually placed. It's like little flowers that I purchased, and most of the packs of, not packs, but the little groups of the flowers, it was like 3 on a stem. And so, yeah, I only had to get, for each color, I really could have only needed to get 1 because there were 3 on each at the Dollar Tree, but I ended up making 2 more crowns. So this tutorial is just for the first one, but you can see like I used a lot of flowers here. I think in total it was around like 30 all the way around for her crown. So turned out super cute and big and fun. And here I'm just placing more flowers on. This is probably like the longest part of the project, is like for me going back in and just placing all of those and just making sure I like it. Do I not like it? Just imagining her wearing this, like nothing's going to be like drooping down too low because it's just going to sit on the top of her head, with just the way that we were going to style her hair. And so I'm starting to put the last couple flowers on this towards the back. Again, cutting off that like little nub once you take the flower off the stem. And yeah, I was super happy with this. It's coming together. We got a variety of colors and flowers. Super cute. Almost done here on this one, fluffing them up and then just like tucking everything. And then for the back, I ended up adding a few more flowers. It's finished. My sister looks amazing, so gorgeous. Look at that flower crown. It's her with her husband. Super happy. There's the back. We love how it turned out. I'm super happy. It's at the baby shower. It's my mom giving a speech. It's my sister's in the back. This is the front of the shower. Look how good she looks.